Well, hello there, disc golf fans. Welcome back to the back nine here for the MPO coverage, round one of the 2025 Las Vegas Challenge. Proudly, as always, brought to you by Innova. It's a PDGA A-Tier event, and a shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. We love you all. I'm Derek Scull, and we got Chris German here in the booth. Seeing some action here. What's going on?
I didn't know how to feel after that intro. We started that. So far, I mean, Bradley's the only one not to find a bogey here at the Millennium course at Wildhorse. I think the back nine plays a little harder, so it'd be nice to see if he can keep that train going. Emerson Keith, 7 down. Paul Oman, 7 down. So some notable names up near the top. We're going to jump in the hole 10, par 3, 388 feet. We have OB right down where the water is. A lot of people kind of bail out over to the left, end up kind of edge of circle, circle 2.
If I remember correctly, was this the hole that Presnell aced like 3-4 years ago? Back when the men played this, or when the whole field played, like we played 3 courses?
Yeah, different tee, though.
Yeah, right.
The tee was where hole 9's green is, because
Okay.
that used to be right next to each other. So he threw over the water. But yeah, that was a pretty iconic ace. That one was cool. That one made Sports Center. But yeah, that OB comes up pretty quick on the right. So I don't think the field wants to try to park the shot.
Yeah, and I feel like we've been repeating ourselves a lot in terms of how fast the green is, but it really is that important. I mean, that comes into consideration on damn near every shot here. Was that another flag hit from Brad? It was close. Extremely smart play from G. Going to be stress-free.
Calvin catching metal.
And it rolled the right direction. I mean, if it's going to drop and roll without stopping, kind of like that. Oh, that's such a frustrating thing, like hitting metal and then just having it creep so slowly, too, and barely out of bounds. But really solid connection to save the bogey from Maddie.
Yeah, tough break there. This came in tied for the 5th hardest. So back-to-back with hole 9, 0.27 over par. And I think we're pretty close to basically seeing that here with our card. 1 bogey and 3 pars. So honestly, a little harder than I thought it was playing.
All right, hole 11, par 4, 635 feet. We got OB all along that right side. You got OB on the left as well. OB green. And then big slope down towards the basket. So there's a couple nooks and crannies in the green area that you can kind of filter into. That fought through very well.
Yeah, all things considered, that's probably the best case scenario, and
Yeah,
no reason why he still can't get a birdie. Little bit of turn on this.
Yeah, kind of a line drive, though. Really penetrating into the mouth of the green area, because we're kind of looking at it about, what, like 10 or 11 o'clock from that position?
Yeah, I would say about that.
It's a little high here.
As that's going to filter down to the bottom part there. That's an interesting look. Should be basically level with the basket.
It's one of those nooks and crannies I was talking about. Maddie flirting with that line a little. Probably not nearly as close as it looked from that angle, but Brad going big spike. Catching edge on the backside of the mound, rolling to the bottom, still keeping him at circle's edge, just with an uphill putt.
Matty O was like, I need to throw it through some woods. It's just that. Calvin's going to hit his head as he picks that up for his birdie.
And Garrett being a predominantly backhand power thrower, the guy has a lot of finesse with the forehand. Whenever he needs to break it out, it's always those chip placement shots, and they work well for him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Matty O with a great comeback, bounce back for the bogey on hole 10. So we're going to jump into the only par 5 for the MPO field here. Hole 12, 1,000 feet on the dot. You want to get out. Basically, it goes down the right the entire way. A couple straight shots. You have a roller on your second shot. Could bring in eagle, possibly, if you get a really good wind read. It doesn't look like the wind is the best today for any of that, but
no, and the angle of this hole is a little more tricky than it looks just standard. Like, I think you can tell from, like, what our cameras are picking up that it's to see the full track of the line. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it was a good move when they pushed the tee pad over there and to the right.
Yeah, and we also teed off at what, like 4 or 3:50 this day. It was pretty
4, yeah.
Yeah, pretty late in the afternoon. So if you're familiar with playing, out in Vegas or really anywhere out west around this time of day, the sun starts to really get in your eyes too. Look at this roller.
Oh, it just flips over right at the last second. Great shot there from G.
Pushing
needs
higher.
to get down. It's getting pretty close. That would be no.
Dang.
Yeah, that's kind of an unforced error there for Calvin. Good shot there from Matty.
I think Brad's going roller as well.
And he's tight on this side, which will allow him to get pretty close to the basket. Eagle is in play for Brad. There's that touchy forehand you were talking
and look,
about.
it got him right there. Yeah, I like seeing a double G forehand, actually. It's almost as rare as I don't know. I had a joke and I forgot it, to be honest.
I was going to say, like Sasquatch or something.
I was trying to think of something that was like
Brad hitting the top of the basket again. I wish we had like a dome counter for the amount of times he's hit the top of the basket.
Like hit markers when you're playing video games.
At least 5, I think.
Matty cutting himself a slice of pumpkin pie. Calvin as well, and Garrett.
Welcome to our instructional disc golf series. If you're ready to take that next step, you've come to the right place. Before we get started on any techniques, I just want to put it out there. There's no substitute for time. Every technique we work on in this series, it's going to require you getting some reps in the field, taking that skill to the course, and putting in the time to have an effective use of those new techniques. Good luck, and it's going to be fun.
All right, lucky number 13, 397 feet, par 3. We got OB green, kind of a theme to this place. And guess what? Another mounded green. This time your tee area is on a lower elevation with this big ridge in front of you, so you do have that to kind of get into your head.
And like getting lucky with hitting
the tree hits, yeah.
Eminent objects.
One, you also, like I had mentioned on the last hole, the time of day with the sunlight. This is kind of one of those holes that you're kind of looking right into it.
Great shot there from Garrett. He's got a pretty easy birdie on his horizon.
See, there's that ridge. Matty came awfully close to it.
And that OB does come into play.
Right there on the skinny side.
Oh, shot Brad.
A little anti-skip to slow it down, too. I've got really big deja vu from that shot from when we saw Matty O go OB on the green earlier. Very similar approach.
Six down for Brad.
Brad paid that basket off for it to catch that. Oh. G nipping the left side of the band.
It's a good par there for Matty O's. This came in as the second hardest hole on the day, as expected. I mean, a lot of danger with the OB green right there in front of the basket. It's 0.34 over par.
I appreciate the extra time that G took here because it looks like he was dealing with a headwind and his style of putting, kind of putting it a little bit more lofty in the air.
Plus that sun, you could see it.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at hole 14, par 3, 465. This one's a tough one to get. You don't really see a lot of birdies on this hole. You have the OB green right on the left, bringing in danger. A lot of people probably don't think the reward is really worth the risk.
Yeah, and if you throw it too low, like we saw Brad go, it kind of just dumps into one of those hills there. Calvin getting clipped up by some branches, dropping early. G putting a move on it, big hyzer over the right side.
He's going for it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Let's take a look. I think you zoom in on it here. We got ourselves a tombstone on the green. I wonder what other bodies are buried under that thing.
We are in Vegas.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, geez.
The logo of the tournament was a reference to The Godfather this year. Just saying.
Damn, I don't even know what to say. I kind of feel like I want to keep my mouth shut.
You say nothing. That's right.
We'll see. We'll see you after the next commercial. Enjoy the sunplug.
I've already said too much. If I'm not here on round 2, I'm in witness protection.
It's a good putt there from Brad for his par. Same there for Calvin.
You know, I also just thought, I wonder if G fixed his divot.
Ooh. Yeah, I think he's got the etiquette here.
Because that's probably the deepest divot that Green's ever seen.
Only saw 3 birdies on the day on that hole.
All right, here on the 15th, slightly downhill, par 3, coming in at 441 feet. Lots of OB. I would say over the years, this is one of the holes that kind of gets dragged a little bit by a lot of the players. It's just kind of one of those, like, maybe I feel like the term like poke and hope, where you're just trying to mash it out there and hope you're safe. So I'd say that if anything's on the chopping block, this might be one of the ones that might need revisitation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, look how good of a shot that is, and that's out.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't a good shot then.
I don't know.
I mean, it was a great shot. It was a good hyzer. I agree. It's funny you say all that because that's going to be OB.
That's what I'm saying, man.
To add a little bit more fuel to that fire, this did come in as the hardest hole.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's why everybody's talking shit about it. But as we are now, 3 OB strokes through 4 players.
Woo! But yeah, this came... Wow. This is for par for Calvin. What do you think this came in over par?
Probably a stroke.
Whew. Pretty close. Bradley's taken a lot of strokes on the field with that birdie. Only 1 of 6. So we're going to get the rewind. So it was 0.83 over par, so a little less than a stroke, but yeah, it was just, it felt like a poke and hope and a very tough birdie to get. But it's a cool green, so.
Yeah, I can't argue that. And I think it has a lot of potential. I don't know this. I don't know the solution.
Collegiate Nationals debuted in 2007, fueled by the vision of Pete May, with support from his good friend and Innova co-founder, Harold Duvall. Innova has been all in since day one, and we've been presenting sponsor ever since. So thank you to the players, the staff, the volunteers, and all of the sponsors who helped make this event possible. At Innova, we see a bright future in college disc golf, and we are proud to be part of the journey.
All right, moving into hole 16, par 4. I feel like this one is a good example of just how much better the field is getting year after year. Because this hole's been the same for a couple of years now. Mm-hmm. And it just seems like every year they're getting closer and closer to like getting to the green and like parking this shot. Like it just lines up, you can really rip on it. And it just, back from when we were filming this in 2019, 2020, like this would be like the biggest smash ever. You'd be like, wow. But we're seeing even bigger shots than this.
I also feel like this reminds me a lot of like the second hole on this course, just in terms of like the layout and sans the ridge.
Yeah, like the top level pro field just throws so far. It's kind of like outgrowing all these venues.
I guess that's arguably one of the reasons why ball golf courses are lending more on tour. But then again, it's like, well, if people are, out throwing them, make the fairways tighter. More woods.
Bradley's going to scoot on down to a tester putt. Calvin not really executing the best to his ability. Matteo, though.
All right, G, I'm counting on you to hit the bullseye again.
Oh,
it's just short. Still very good, though. Well within stabbing range for him. That upward putt angle kind of hitting. It looked like maybe it kind of hit the upper inside of the band, causing it to splash out. Great bounce back.
I didn't even
Garrett.
realize Garrett had 2 bogeys in a row.
Yeah, but with that birdie, he does prevent himself some bloody pavement.
Matty O getting a bounce back too. The boys are back.
With 2 to go. Let's go into the 17th. It's going to be downhill most of the way. I'd say the very traditional play would be to, as a right-handed player, just flex forehand something. Kind of keep the OB on that left side out of play, but there is OB on the far right, I do believe, as well.
Oh, that's a good shot there from Matty O.
Yeah, I think if you listen closely, you hear him say, that's my top forehand of the season.
Garrett
With a chop.
his forehand.
I think maybe he hit that rock wall a little bit.
All right, we're 3 for 3 now with the forehands. This one, though.
Yeah, that got away from him. I
Right.
think.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, that is the OB. That's behind the fence.
Yeah.
Or the netting.
4 for 4
Ooh.
with the forehands.
And then a forehand approach.
And still some work there for Calvin. To save his par, he's going to be outside circle.
Brad should have done a forehand approach.
Calvin should have done a forehand putt. Oh, jeez.
But it's like
What?
where Calvin's disc just like rolled into, like how is that any different than hole 15's edge, you know?
Yeah.
But one's OB and one's not. So like the consistency's not quite there on that small stretch. But maybe all the OB changes for 15 is because like what you said, that people are just outgrowing the hole. And they only have so much space.
That's a par there for Garrett as the CTP really parked this shot. Make sure no one put it in. Oh,
Yeah, I was
someone
going to
did
say,
put it in.
I think that means it's an ace.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could end up under the basket, but to clarify, it was in the basket. Joseph Carey, ace on 17.
I wonder if it was a forehand. If you're watching, let us know in the comments.
All right, we're going to go in the hole 18. This is not a forehand. This is going to be a hyzer shot from all these guys. 392, birdie to finish out your round.
Also incredibly hard to film from the tee. That's playing that boundary there, but stays safe. Oh, no, it doesn't. Dang.
I was about to say, he was playing
by a hair.
green.
You see that OB line there, too, near the netting? A lot of sneaky, like where you can't quite see it from the tee, so you really need to land that for practice. That should be good.
Oh, yeah. Should be a good way to finish for Calvin
Oh.
as Matty kissing chains.
All right, there is the slope to worry about. Dang, you would have thought that would have like hit that little pothole there and stuck, but kind of cruised right by it. Garrett's putt does seem a little dangerous with greens like this because of how much of a hyzer
Whoa.
angle he puts on. No, curl up.
Whoa.
That would have been enough for me to pull my hair out if I saw if that happened to me on the last hole of the freaking round. Yeah, rightfully so. Laying up, not taking another chance. That's a perfect example of taking your medicine.
Good bogey save there for Matty O.
He goes, no.
Yeah, that is not a roll time moment there. Oof.
Bradley missing the opportunity there to get another.
Calvin just made things a little closer for the card. As that's tough for G, man. He had such a good round, and then holes 14 onward just really got away from him. It kind of felt like the rug was just pulled out.
Yeah, far more color here on the back nine scorecards. Quite the variation. Let's take a look here at the top 10.
No one making it to lead card from our feature card here today.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
I'd say we don't see that too often. But well, we're looking forward to showcasing the rest of the event. As you saw, we have Jacob Curtis and Emerson Keith at the top of our lead card for day 2 over on the Innova course. Thanks as always for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.